Hi guys, my name is Lorabai or Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reading chapter 45 of #Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. We have 5 chapters left before the end of the book. Let's get right into it. Dee picked her way up into the bleachers, trying not to put any weight on either her twisted ankle or her broken arm. As Gucci began the competition, he strutted down the runway, hands planted on hips that swung side to side like a pendulum on a grandfather clock. At the end, he shifted his weight to his right leg, then his left, and finally flicked his head around and headed back the way he came. When he returned to his starting place, he swept his arm across his body, beckoning his opponent to the stage. For a moment, Dee wasn't sure if Niles was going to be able to do it. He stood at the back of the runway, glancing alongside at his opponent as if searching for inspiration. Gucci gave Niles the once-over, then rolled his eyes, which seemed to spur Niles into action. He stuck his hands on his hips, his jacket parted to reveal his bare chest, his bare torso, and with his elbows jutted outward exactly as Gucci had done, Niles began his walk. Duplicate, then elaborate. Dee prayed that Niles had been paying attention. If he couldn't duplicate a walk, then he'd be disqualified. And then what had Cecile said? Gasoline fight? That could not be good. But Dee's worries proved to be unfounded. Niles did an excellent Gucci impression. When he got to the end of the runway, he posed perfectly to the right and then the left, just as Gucci had done, and for his elaboration, Niles slipped off his jacket and tossed it over his shoulder as he retreated. Dee let out a slow breath. Niles had this under control. Now she just had to figure out what Cecile and Gucci had planned. She stole a look at Cecile sitting nearby. His attention was wholly focused on Gucci's next walk, so hopefully he wouldn't notice if Dee did a little reconnaissance. She shifted her body on the wooden crate so that way she could get a full view of the bleachers cobbled together from the leftover industrial infrastructure of the warehouse. Everything looked dingy, old, rusted, or moldy. But more importantly, none of it looked dangerous. Movement from Dee's left caught her eye. Down below her, beneath the bleachers, she was positive she had seen a shadow, as if someone had darted behind a stack of crates. And as she bent down to get a better view, she caught a flash of color in the darkness. If it had been painted gray or brown, like everything else in Cecile's set design, Dee might have missed it altogether, but the 3-foot-tall, bright red gasoline tank was easy to spot. It was mounted to a wheeled caddy, complete with hose and pump, and looked as if it could hold several gallons of fuel. A chill ran down Dee's spine. Cecile and Gucci were planning to douse her and Niles with fuel, then burn them alive. Unless Dee got to the tank first. Back on the runway, Gucci was midway through another walk. He took a step, then swung his leg up in a high kick that would have impressed the Rockettes. Niles looked at Dee and shook his head, indicating that there was no way he could duplicate Gucci's high kick, but he had to. Not only that, but Dee needed him to keep Gucci and Cecile occupied for as long as possible. Stretch, she mouthed, hoping Niles would be able to figure out what she meant. He cocked his head to the side in confusion. Dee lifted her injured arm, grimacing as a razor-sharp pain ripped through her entire left side, and brought the fingers of both hands together. Then she dragged them apart as if she was pulling taffy. Stretch, she mouthed again. Niles paused for a moment, then nodded slowly. If there was ever a time for Niles to read her mind, this was it. His high kick wasn't nearly as high or as straight or as impressive as Gucci's, but he managed to get through it, then busted out with an entire series of dance moves that would have made Beyonce proud. His prolonged choreography was exactly what Dee was hoping for. Gucci and Cecile were mesmerized by the display, which gave Dee the opportunity to creep down the wall of crates. By the time Niles ended with some kind of maraca funky chicken hybrid that should probably have been banned from dance floors across the world, she reached the tank. Gucci glared at Niles, retreated to the top of the runway. Seriously? He said, the scarf pulling with each syllable. Duplicate? Niles said, throwing the rules back at him. And elaborate. Unless you can't. You wish. Cecile's attention was fixed on Gucci's next walk. His hand held before him, as if he were taking notes on it with an invisible pen. Dee would only get one shot at this, so her plan had to work. It took her a few seconds to unscrew the hose from the base of the tank. And though it was dark, Dee could see the shiny liquid flowing across the floor as the acrid stench dissipated into the air. The fuel spread, flowing along the lines of the wooded crates, and by the time Dee emerged from the bleachers, she could see the highly flammable liquid pooling around the base of the runway. Gucci had just finished copying the last of Niles' improvised dance moves when he added one of his own, descending into a perfect split. Then, while he held the pose, Dee pulled Robin's Zippo lighter from the base of her bodice, flashed it at Niles, then nodded her head towards the corner of the room. Niles pulled on his jacket and raced down the runway, ignoring all choreography. "Hey," Gucci cried. He's not duplicating. Niles jumped off the edge of the stage to Dee's side as Gucci gave chase, pointing and complaining like a spoiled child. Cecile rose to his feet. "I believe we have a winner," he proclaimed. Dee wasn't sure how neither of them smelled the commercial unleaded spreading through the warehouse, but it didn't matter now. "This is for Blair and Ethan," she said. She held up the Zippo and flicked it to life. Disqualified, she tossed the lighter into the pool of gasoline at the base of the runway. Then she and Niles ran like hell. Good for them. Also killing two of her friend's murderers in one go. Pretty impressive, just saying. Now we get to read the comments. Tanya Bologna, I think that's supposed to be bologna, but I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna go with bologna. Or maybe it's Belogana. Tanya Belogana? That sounds right. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. Tanya Belogana commented, "Was anyone watching channels 432 and 433? There's someone else in the maze under the bleachers. Hashtag Cinderella survivor is getting help." Hashtag Cinderella survivors got help. No wonder. That's the only way she's been able to beat the postman PEI so far. Inside job, I feel cheated. What's this hashtag radio silence bullshit? At the postman PEI. Hashtag we want answers. And that comment was from Stacy McCandless. I forgot to tell you that. Judy Klein commented, "Wait, I thought hashtag Cinderella survivor hated the dorky Brit. There wasn't any sound on the scene, but I'm pretty sure she threatened him with an axe like an hour ago. Now they're making out. Hashtag love is weird. Hashtag a kiss with an axe is better than none. That's funny. Phoebe Tressa commented, "Dear at Gucci Hangman, while your high kicks were flawless, hashtag jealous of my boogie, hashtag Team Raven. What were you thinking with that red lame monstrosity? Yes, Zoolander, I get it, but have some pride. Hashtag pride." Mitchell M. David commented, "No replays happening, but right before at Barbaric Barista ate it, I could have sworn I saw someone moving behind the maze walls. Then, miraculously, a new bag of frisbees appeared. It's as if at the postman PEI wants all of his killers dead. Hashtag you've got answers." The Griff commented, "Ya think? Hashtag don't trust the feed. Hashtag eyes open. Hashtag Alcatraz 2 conspiracy. Hashtag DOJ investigate. Hashtag we want answers." And he said that in reply to Mitchell M. David. Blake the Flake responded with at wide awake open, aka the Griff, at SD's #1 divorce law, aka Mitchell. As much as it pains me to say it, you might be right. Where's at the Justice Depp in all of this? And at Attorney General, or at POTUS? He's the one who sold the prison system off to at the postman PEI in the first place. Hashtag accountability. Hashtag we want answers. And that's the end of chapter 45. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.